everyone, I'm here today to share with you guys a video that I feel like I need to talk about because I get a lot of questions around this whole topic of balance and finding work-life balance and being a stay-at-home working mom and how do I handle everything. And I just want to say right from the get-go that balance is an utter lie. I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think it exists. For me personally and what I've experienced, it's just not there. It's not something that can be achieved in the traditional sense of what balance at least means to me. And if you can achieve that balance, that is awesome. Write a book because I will buy it. But for me personally, it just doesn't exist. So I wanted to kind of walk you through sort of the things that I have learned from my own experience being a mom and working from home and figuring out what that balance is and not feeling guilty and tips and tricks and things that have worked well for me. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you guys are also struggling with this, know that you are not alone. We're all in this together. So without further ado, let's get into this. And we will start with coffee because coffee makes the whole concept of balance just seem a little bit brighter. So now that we have our beverage of choice, I want to kind of talk about some of the things that I have kind of gone through and tried to figure out. So, you know, with working from home, it was sort of like I was, you know, trying to balance everything, but like everything all at once. So I'd like sit down and I would film and then I would go and like play with my kids or read a story. Or I'd try and edit with like Julia on my lap and I'd be like half paying attention to her and like half paying attention to what I was doing, and everything was just taking a lot longer. I was feeling really drained. I wasn't feeling fulfilled at all. I was feeling guilty because I felt like I wasn't paying enough attention to my kids while trying to balance everything else, and it just wasn't working for me at all. And so I just kind of revamped my thought process on everything, and this has helped me a lot. I'm still a work in progress. I think that's just sort of human nature, and I'm a constant work in progress, and I'm always trying to improve and make myself a better person and a better mom. But so with that said, these are some things that have worked better for me. I'm kind of like flying off the cuff here. Like I don't really know what I want to talk about, but I know I want to talk about this because I feel like too many times people are led to believe that individuals in this social influencer space have these perfect lives and everything is all balanced and their kids are wonderful and they're dolled up and dressed perfectly every day and no one has temper tantrums and no one loses their minds like trying to calm down like 3 screaming children in a grocery store. Like this stuff happens to everyone. You will have up days and you will have down days. That is part of being a human person. Everyone goes through it. And I'm hoping that some of these will be good takeaways and helpful takeaways for you guys who are kind of struggling with some of those like balancing moments and feeling really drained and stressed out. So I know I've gone through that. I know a lot of people go through that. So hopefully these all help. The first thing that I did when I was realizing that my current kind of situation and what I was doing wasn't working out is that I wrote down all of my priorities. So all things that I was like doing within the month that I felt were important to me, whether it was, you know, seeing family, kids obviously, marriage obviously, work obviously, but even like the little things, maybe you enjoy running or you go to a book club, whatever it is, write out all of those priorities of things that are important to you in your life. For me, I'm such like a visual person, so seeing that list right off the bat was kind of helpful because I could see that it wasn't as many things as it was making out to be in my brain. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like there's this one like little Insta thing and it's like a picture and it says my brain has too many tabs open. That's how I feel like all day long. But seeing that list written out really helped streamline that process, and I was like, okay, there are some things, there are a lot of things, but not as many as I thought there was. So immediately that took a lot of the stress off my plate. Next up is the hardest part, which is prioritizing those things. There are some that are gonna come really easily to you, and then others will be a little bit trickier. And I think it's important to be realistic with yourself and know that this is going to be a constantly changing and evolving priority list. But I think that's a good place to start and kind of getting a general sense, okay, in my general life at where I'm at right now, these are the most important things to me. Now assign a percentage to this. So this is where I needed Excel because I can't do math that fast in my head. And I would have everything listed out. It would come to a total of 100%. Think of it like a pie, right? So you only have so much time in a day to dedicate to things. So having those percentages kind of listed out and seeing like exactly how much time really also again helped me to visualize where where I was spending my time and if it accurately was represented with what I was actually doing in my life. And that was really helpful for me. Another thing that I've kind of figured out and works really well for me is to make a temporary pie, because sometimes, you know, like work gets really stressful, or maybe the kids are going back to school, or you just desperately need like a girls' night out. I have sort of like this overarching pie of like priorities like overall in my life for the next 5 years, but I also have a temporary one that I kind of play around with and shift and mold a little bit depending on what the week is looking like. I also make sure that this pie is sort of in sync with what Chris is going through and making sure that we're both on the same page because we both work from home. For me, I was trying to pre-plan and put up these videos in advance of going to the cottage. We went on vacation last week, or sorry, the week before. And so I wanted to get all those videos pre-filmed, and I wanted to sit down and brainstorm a whole bunch of ideas, and that takes a lot of time. So I needed to make sure that Chris was on the same page with what he was working on so that he could dedicate his time to spending a lot of time with the kids. And so making sure we were in tune was really important. So my temporary pie, like leading up to the cottage and our family vacation, was very like work focused. But I wanted to make sure that after that, I kind of shifted gears again and went almost entirely family focused, and basically nothing was work focused. And that's also important, is knowing that the pie that you're working on is temporary. And be careful with this, because sometimes you can get into such like a rhythm and mode that some of the other pies in your little like pie chart start to suffer. So just keep that in mind when you're playing around with it, that it is a temporary measure and it's something that you need to reevaluate or see how it fits into your overarching pie in the long run. And sometimes, you know what, it feels like everything is a priority and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, but how do I do it if everything is a 90% priority? I totally get it. And that can be really frustrating too, when you feel like everything's super urgent and you feel like you just need to fight fires all over the place. And these are some tips that have really helped me when kind of dealing with that. Number one is work is never ending. There's never going to be an end to work and what you want to accomplish and what you're doing. There will always be more. And I think that's really important for me, at least, to kind of set out, okay, these are the tasks I want to accomplish in a week. And then knowing that each day needs to be flexible. As a mom, I need to kind of prioritize them. So like one day I'll get a lot of things done on my tasks list, and then one day I may get none of it done. And that's okay. For me, I tried to do daily tasks list and I found I was just getting really frustrated because things would pop up, things would happen, and then I wasn't getting the things I wanted to accomplish. Versus for a week, it still felt like, okay, these are the urgent things that need to get done, but also allowed me a lot of flexibility depending on what was happening in that week. Tip number 2 is delegating. This was something that I found was really, really important for me and my own stress levels and finding that balance. So for example, one thing that I do is that when I'm trying to tidy up around the house, I will bring Julia along with me while Luke is napping, or I'll bring the two of them around and we'll tidy up all the toys and we'll make it a game and we'll set a timer, or we'll make it like a basketball type of thing to get all the toys into the basket, things like that. And that was really helpful. Chris does all of our grocery shopping and he does like 95% of all the cooking, so that helps as well. But know what you're good at and what things only you can accomplish, and then try and see, okay, what are the other things that I need to have going on to kind of keep the ship moving, if you will, and try and delegate those accordingly. Tip number 3 is wake up early. And this one, I gotta be honest with you guys, I am really struggling with. I know that it's a good thing, and it's just still, it's so hard for me to do, but I find I am so much more relaxed and less stressed out when I do wake up early. So what I used to do is I would kind of put the kids to bed with Chris, and then we would go and we would just work. We would clean up the house, we would tidy up, we would prep for the next day, I would brainstorm ideas for videos, I would do all sorts of stuff. And then we would go to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I would wake up groggy when the kids got up, and I was scrambling to kind of get them all going for the day, and it was just a gong show. So I found that the best thing was getting up a little bit before they were gonna get up, get their breakfast ready, get myself ready in the morning, do my to-do list, like get everything all set, like all the ducks in a row. And I just felt more accomplished. I felt like I had ticked the boxes off the list of things to do, and I just felt more prepared for the day, and it was a lot less stressful. Tip number 4 is just dealing with you time or me time or whatever you want to call it. So I don't do that like at all, and I don't know about you guys, but I always feel guilty for not doing me time, and I think I do me time in a different way than most people. I see a lot of like things on, you know, Pinterest or videos or blog posts on like, take time for yourself and like go for a walk, or, you know, watch some shows and like drink some wine. Like, I would love to do that, but I feel my personality, at least, I'm very like type A personality and want to like do things all the time. So what I do, and what really actually de-stresses me, is I clean or like reorganize or declutter or do something and watch shows. So I'll bring my laptop around with me from room to room. I'll throw on Netflix and I'll just listen to shows. Usually it's shows that I've watched over and over, like Friends or something, and I will declutter. And then I feel like less chaos and I feel less stressed, and it helps. I don't know, I feel a lot more calm. It's me time because it's just quiet time with me. I don't feel guilty for not spending time with myself, but I also don't feel guilty for like not doing things like for my family or around the house or whatever it is. So it's like a nice mix for me. But I mean, at the same time, if you need more me time, then try again in the waking up early time. Use that time, have a cup of coffee, read a book you've been really enjoying, or watch a show that you need to catch up on or something like that. Use that as a moment of me time. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different on what they need out of themselves or where they are on sort of their levels of stress. So take that into consideration too, but this is something that just works for me. And the last piece of advice is just around handling guilt. If you are a mom and you work and you feel guilty for not spending enough time with your kids, I know I feel that. I know a lot of people feel that. And one thing that I really try to do is put away my phone when it's like dedicated time with my kids, and I'm just sitting down and I'm playing with them, and I'm not distracted by emails and things going on and wanting to check Twitter. I just have one-on-one time with them, and then I'm focused on them. They know that I'm focused on them, and it's just better quality time because I can spend time with them and I can check my emails and write emails and be like, hang on one second, I need to finish the email. But like, then I don't feel as fulfilled, and I don't think they feel as fulfilled because I'm not focused on them 100%. So by taking the phone and other electronics kind of out of the picture and just spending that time one-on-one, doesn't matter how much time it is, but the fact that I am engaged with them on a 100% level makes all the difference. And that's everything for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. I just felt like this was a topic that needed to be addressed. I get asked about it so often, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with finding that balance, whether or not you have kids. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, again, please subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what tips and tricks work really well for you. I would love to learn from you guys too. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos every Saturday. And that's everything. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing weekend so far, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you, girls. Mwah.